My girlfriend texted. She was taking a business trip with her ex. Don't make it weird, I replied. Have fun. Then I completely dismantled the entire online business I had built for her. The next day, her password no longer worked. I,29. Mail. I'm still trying to process the events of the last few weeks. I've just been sitting here, staring at my wall, replaying everything. I feel like I have to get this out. So, Thursday afternoon, about 3 p.m. I'm wrapping up some work when my phone dings. It's a text from my girlfriend, Jenna, 27. We've been together for 2 years, living in my house for 1. The text read, going to that conference in Austin this weekend. Marcus is coming too. Don't make it weird. That's all it said. No discussion, no questions, just a declaration. Marcus is her ex. The one she claimed was now just a professional mentor who was helping her network. I reread the text message about 4 times. My gut instinct was to call her, to argue, to demand some respect. But then something snapped. The sheer audacity of it. The don't make it weird, as if my feelings were an inconvenience to her plans. Okay, I set my phone down, took a deep breath, and opened my laptop. You see, Jenna's business, an online boutique, was my creation. I paid for the web hosting, I designed the site, I funded all the inventory, and the business bank account was tied to mine. It was my name on everything. I wanted to support her dream. A key detail, as you'll see. I spent the next 2 hours systematically taking it all apart. I unpublished the website, putting it back into draft mode. I transferred the remaining funds from the business account back into my personal savings. It was my money to begin with. I canceled the company credit card she used. I wasn't being cruel. I was just done. The best part, I knew there was no conference in Austin. Marcus had posted on his Instagram story about his excitement for a music festival there that same weekend. A music festival. I took a screenshot just in case. Then I packed a bag for her. Clothes, toiletries, her laptop. Everything she'd need for a few days. I left it on the porch. Then I went to bed and slept better than I had in months. The next morning was cinematic. 9:15 a.m. My phone starts blowing up. It's Jenna calling repeatedly. I ignore it. Then the texts start. Why's the site down? My card was declined. Answer me. I let her stew for a bit before sending one reply. Your business has been dissolved. Your things are on the porch. Have a great time at the music festival. Then I blocked her number. You thought that was the end? The level of entitlement that followed is truly mind-blowing. So after I blocked her, she apparently drove back from wherever she was. I wasn't home. I was at the gym. She left me about 15 voicemails, each one angrier than the last. That evening, my doorbell rings. I look through the peephole. It's Jenna, and she brought backup. Her older brother, Kyle. He's a big guy. Opened the door. Kyle immediately starts puffing out his chest. Kyle, what the hell is your problem, man? You can't just throw her out and destroy her livelihood. Me. I didn't destroy anything. I reclaimed my investment after she decided to go on a weekend trip with her ex-boyfriend. Jenna. It was for business. You're just insecure. Me. Was the Austin City Limits Music Festival also for business? I pulled out my phone and showed Kyle the screenshot of Marcus's Instagram post. I then showed him the text she sent me. I watched his face go from angry to confused. Me. This was my project that I let her run. When she chose to disrespect me and our relationship, the project ended. Her things were packed neatly. Nothing was destroyed. Kyle looked at his sister, who suddenly couldn't make eye contact. Kyle, is this true? A music festival? She just stammered. He sighed, shaking his head. Kyle, look, this is a mess. I'm not getting in the middle of it. He actually turned around, got in his car, and left her standing on my driveway. She started screaming at me, calling me every name in the book. I just closed the door and put on my noise-canceling headphones. It didn't end there, of course. If you thought bringing her brother was the peak of this drama, you are sorely mistaken. The delusion went into overdrive. Monday morning, after the weekend drama, I woke up to a dozen notifications on social media. My ex had launched an all-out smear campaign. She posted this long, tearful story about her abusive and controlling ex, who sabotaged her burgeoning business out of a fit of jealous rage. She claimed I'd left her with nothing, that I was holding her dream hostage. She conveniently left out the part about the ex-boyfriend and the music festival. She even had the nerve to start a GoFundMe, asking for donations to rebuild her stolen business. Some of our mutual friends were messaging me, asking what happened. I didn't engage with any of them. I made one single public post on my own page. It was a screenshot of her original text to me, a screenshot of Marcus's music festival post, and a simple caption: my response to the recent false accusations. I have invested over $15,000 in this venture and wish everyone involved the best. I didn't say anything else. The fallout was immediate. People started connecting the dots, but the real kicker came from an unexpected source. Marcus's new girlfriend, a woman named Chloe, commented on my post. Wait, is this why he told me he had a solo work trip this weekend, and why all her stuff showed up at his apartment Monday morning? Boom! The post went viral in our social circle. Within an hour, my my ex had deleted her entire profile, and the GoFundMe page vanished. I thought, finally, peace. Nope. Wednesday, I get an alert from my bank. A suspicious login attempt from an unrecognized device, then another one from my email, then my stock portfolio. She was using old saved passwords on her laptop to try and get into my accounts. My bank, thankfully, had two-factor authentication, so she failed. But that's when she crossed the line from a bitter ex to a criminal. I immediately changed every single password I have. Then, I gathered all the evidence, the login attempt notifications, the social media posts, everything, and I walked into a police station. I filed a report for attempted unauthorized access to financial accounts. The officer was incredibly helpful and said they would look into it. I was done playing games. This is it, the grand finale, because it's truly, finally over, and the ending is more satisfying than I could have imagined. After I filed the police report, I hired a lawyer, a sharp, no-nonsense woman named Miss Albright. She was expensive, but she was worth every single cent. The first thing she did was send a cease and desist letter to my ex. The letter was a masterpiece. It detailed the smear campaign, the attempted hacking of my financial accounts, and made it crystal clear that any further contact, direct or indirect, would result in immediate legal action for a restraining order. For about a week, there was silence. I started to think it was over. Then, I get a call from an unknown number. It's Kyle, her brother. He sounded exhausted. Kyle, hey, I need to apologize. My sister is out of control. Her friends just told me she got arrested. Me. Arrested? Kyle, yeah, for trying to use your information to open a credit card. They caught her. Apparently, after she failed to get into your accounts, she used the personal info she remembered to apply for a card in your name. That's a felony. The police had connected my report of the hacking attempts to her new stunt. With the paper trail I provided, it was an open and shut case. My jaw was on the floor. The absolute nerve. Ms. Albright handled everything from there. With the evidence of the attempted fraud, the police report, and the cease and desist, the district attorney took the case seriously. It turns out this wasn't a one-off. She had a sealed juvenile record for something similar. The court date was last month. I attended with Miss Albright. My ex showed up with a public defender. She looked like a wreck. She tried to cry and tell the judge she was desperate and heartbroken. But the prosecutor laid out the facts, the deceit, the smear campaign, the repeated escalating attempts to access and steal my finances. The judge was not impressed. He called her actions a calculated campaign of harassment and attempted theft, not the actions of a victim. The sentence: 2 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, court-ordered therapy, and full restitution for my legal fees, plus a 5-year restraining order. If she so much as texts me, she goes to jail. The aftermath? Word got out. She's unemployable in her field now. Last I heard, she had to move back in with her parents in a different state. Her brother sent me a check for my lawyer's fees, with a note that just said, "I'm sorry." I cashed it. And me? I'm good. My house is quiet. My finances are secure. And my trust is something I will be much more careful with in the future. It all started with that one text message. Don't make it weird. She wanted me to just accept her behavior. I did, just not how she planned. The lesson here is simple. When someone shows you their true colors, don't try to repaint them. And when they hand you a shovel, don't be afraid to dig yourself out of the hole they put you in. Thanks for listening to this insane story. I'm closing the book on this part of my life. Know your value, protect your peace, and never, ever let someone else's drama become your problem. Catch you later.